Most people want success. Most people dream of greatness. Most people talk about changing their lives, but very few people are willing to do what it actually takes. They want overnight results. They want instant transformation. They want motivation without discipline. They want the reward without the work. And that is why most people stay exactly where they are. Let me tell you something powerful. You don't need to change your whole life today. You don't need to become perfect tomorrow. You don't need to be 10 times better this week. You only need to improve 1% today. That's it. One small step, one small decision, one small improvement, because 1% better every day is not small. It is unstoppable. Small habits create massive results. Most people think success comes from one big moment, one lucky break, one powerful decision. But that's not how real change happens. Real change is quiet. It's invisible. It happens when no one is watching. It happens in the small choices you make every single day. The glass of water you drink in the morning, the book you open for 10 minutes, the walk you take when you feel tired, the workout you almost skipped. Those moments feel insignificant. They feel too small to matter. They feel like they won't change anything. But they do. Because every small habit is a vote for the person you are becoming. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you are building a stronger version of yourself. Every time you choose growth over laziness, you are shaping your future. No one sees it at first. No one claps. No one congratulates you. But your life is changing. Most people wait for motivation. They wait for the perfect mood. They wait for the right time. Winners build habits. They don't rely on feelings. They rely on systems. They rely on routine. They rely on daily action. Because habits don't need motivation. Habits don't need excitement. Habits just need consistency. You don't wake up one day with confidence. You build it with small wins. You don't wake up one day disciplined. You earn it with daily effort. You don't wake up one day successful. You grow into it. Small habits train your mind. They teach you self-respect. They teach you responsibility. They show you that you are capable, that you can keep promises to yourself, that you can do hard things. And once you believe that, everything changes. Most people try to change their life in 1 week. They set extreme goals. They create impossible schedules. They demand perfection. Then they fail. They get tired. They quit. And they tell themselves the lie, I'm just not disciplined. That's not true. They just tried to run before they learned to walk. Greatness is built the same way strength is built. One repetition at a time. You don't get strong from one workout. You get strong from showing up again and again. You don't get smart from one book. You get smart from reading every day. You don't build confidence from one speech. You build confidence from daily practice. Small habits remove fear. They remove doubt. They remove excuses. They turn effort into identity. You stop saying, I'm trying. You start saying, this is who I am. You become the person who trains, the person who studies, the person who works, the person who grows. And once it becomes who you are, it becomes automatic. Your life starts to move in a new direction, slow at first, almost unnoticeable. But then one day you look back and you realize how far you've come, not because of one big decision, not because of one big moment, but because you chose to show up when it was boring, when it was uncomfortable, when it was hard. Small habits build discipline. Discipline builds confidence. Confidence builds momentum. Momentum changes everything. You stop needing motivation. You stop waiting for permission. You stop doubting yourself. You start trusting yourself. And when you trust yourself, you become dangerous to mediocrity. Your future is built in your routine. Your future is built in your mornings. Your future is built in your evenings. Every small habit is shaping the direction of your life. The question is not whether habits matter. The question is which habits you are building right now. Because whether you realize it or not, you are becoming something every day. Stronger or weaker, focused or distracted, disciplined or lazy. And it all starts with the smallest decisions, the ones that feel like they don't matter. But they do. They always do. Most people wait for motivation. They wait to feel inspired. They wait to feel ready. They wait for the perfect mood. But motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. Some days it shows up strong. Some days it disappears completely. And when motivation disappears, most people stop. They tell themselves they'll start tomorrow. They say they're tired. They say they're not in the mood. They say life is too stressful and life keeps moving while they stay stuck. Discipline is different. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't wait for excitement. It doesn't ask for permission. Discipline shows up when you don't want to. It shows up when you're tired. It shows up when you're bored. It shows up when you're afraid. Discipline is the quiet voice that says, do it anyway. It's the alarm clock at 5 a.m. It's the workout when your body hurts. It's the book when your phone is calling. It's the work when no one is watching. Motivation feels good. Discipline feels hard. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is intentional. Motivation makes promises. Discipline keeps them. Anyone can feel motivated after a speech. Anyone can feel inspired after a video. Anyone can feel powerful for a moment, but that feeling fades. And when it fades, only discipline remains. Discipline is what separates dreamers from doers. Dreamers talk about what they want. Doers build what they want. Dreamers wait for the right time. Doers create the time. Dreamers look for shortcuts. Doers accept the process. Discipline is choosing pain now over regret later. It is choosing effort over excuses. It is choosing progress over comfort. It's not loud. It's not glamorous. It's not easy. It's waking up when the bed is warm. It's saying no when temptation is loud. It's staying focused when distractions are everywhere. Discipline is built in small moments. The moment you don't press snooze, the moment you open the book, the moment you start the workout, the moment you turn off the phone, those moments shape your future. Every disciplined action strengthens your mind. It teaches you that you are in control. It proves that you are capable. And once you see that, you stop doubting yourself. You stop making excuses. You stop negotiating with your weakness. You start respecting yourself. Because discipline is self-respect in action. It is keeping your word to yourself. It is honoring your goals. It is protecting your potential. People think discipline is punishment. It's not. It's freedom. Freedom from laziness. Freedom from regret. Freedom from wasted time. When you are disciplined, you own your life. You decide your future. You control your direction. Without discipline, life controls you. Your moods control you. Your habits control you. Your distractions control you. And one day you wake up wondering where the years went. Discipline builds momentum. One good choice leads to another. One strong day leads to another. One small win creates belief. Belief creates confidence. Confidence creates power. And that power changes how you walk, how you speak, how you think. You stop feeling weak. You stop feeling behind. You stop feeling lost. You feel capable. You feel focused. You feel driven. Discipline doesn't mean being perfect. It means being consistent. It means showing up even when it's hard. It means doing the work even when it's boring. It means staying committed even when progress feels slow. Because slow progress is still progress. And discipline keeps you moving forward. Long after motivation disappears, most people want fast results. They want change now. They want success today. They want proof immediately, and when they don't see it, they quit. They say it's not working. They say it's taking too long. They say maybe it's not meant for them. But the truth is simple. Nothing powerful is built quickly. A strong body takes time. A sharp mind takes time. A successful life takes time. And the people who win are not the most talented. They are the most consistent. They show up when it's boring. They show up when it's uncomfortable. They show up when no one is watching. They show up again and again. Consistency is not exciting. It doesn't give you instant rewards. It doesn't give you applause. But it gives you results. Most people fail not because they are weak, but because they are impatient. They want the harvest without the planting. They want the reward without the work. They want the victory without the sacrifice. But life doesn't work that way. Every day you show up, you are stacking bricks. Every workout is a brick. Every page you read is a brick. Every hour you focus is a brick. At first, the wall looks small. It looks meaningless. It looks like nothing is happening. But keep stacking. One day you look back and realize you've built something strong. Consistency builds trust with yourself. When you say you will do something and you do it, you start believing in yourself. When you keep promises to yourself, your confidence grows. When you stay committed, your identity changes. You stop seeing yourself as someone who quits. You start seeing yourself as someone who finishes. That changes everything. Because once you trust yourself, you stop doubting your ability. You stop waiting for approval. You stop looking for shortcuts. You focus on the work. Consistency builds discipline. Discipline builds momentum. Momentum builds power, and power moves your life forward. Most people live in cycles. They start strong, they lose focus, they quit, they feel guilty, they start again over and over. Winners break the cycle. They stay when it gets hard. They stay when it gets boring. They stay when progress feels slow. They understand that slow progress is still progress. They don't need perfect days. They need consistent days. They don't need massive effort. They need daily effort. Small actions done daily are stronger than big actions done once. One workout won't change your body, but a year of workouts will. One book won't change your mind, but a year of reading will. One focus day won't change your career, but a year of focus will. Consistency compounds. Every small win adds up. Every small effort multiplies. You don't see the results at first, but they are there. Growing, building, strengthening. The hardest part is trusting the process, trusting that your effort matters, trusting that your discipline is working, trusting that your future is being built. Most people give up right before the breakthrough. They quit when they are closest to change because they can't see the progress yet. But consistency is invisible before it becomes unstoppable. It feels slow before it feels powerful. It feels pointless before it feels life-changing. The people who succeed are the ones who keep going anyway. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They don't wait for motivation. They don't wait for confidence. They build all three through consistency. And once they do, their life starts to move in a new direction. A direction built on discipline, a direction built on effort, a direction built on belief. Consistency is the difference between wishing and winning, between dreaming and doing, between average and unstoppable. Most people think change starts with goals. They write big dreams. They imagine a better life. They picture success, but they stay the same because real change doesn't start with goals. It starts with identity. It starts with how you see yourself. If you see yourself as weak, you will act weak. If you see yourself as lazy, you will act lazy. If you see yourself as undisciplined, you will live undisciplined. Your behavior always follows your self-image. You don't become what you want. You become what you believe you are. That's why some people keep repeating the same mistake. They change their plans. They change their strategies. They change their environment, but they never change their identity. And because of that, they always go back to old habits. They say, I want to be successful, but they still see themselves as someone who quits. They say, I want to be confident, but they still see themselves as someone who hides. They say, I want to be strong, but they still see themselves as someone who avoids effort. And so they act exactly like the person they believe they are. Real transformation begins the moment you decide that you are no longer the old version of yourself, not tomorrow, not next year, today. You stop saying, I'm trying. You start saying, I do. You stop saying, I want to be. You start saying, I am becoming. Every action you take is a message to your mind. When you train, you tell yourself you are disciplined. When you study, you tell yourself you are focused. When you show up, you tell yourself you are committed. Your mind listens, and over time, that story becomes your truth. Identity is not built in one decision. It is built in repeated behavior. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you reinforce a stronger identity. Every time you choose effort over excuses, you become more powerful. Every time you keep your word, you become more confident. And slowly, quietly, you become someone new. The most dangerous thing you can say is, that's just who I am. Because that sentence keeps people trapped for years. I'm just not disciplined. I'm just bad with money. I'm just not confident. No, that's just a story you've been telling yourself, and stories can be rewritten. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are what you do today. Identity is flexible. It is shaped by action. When you act like a strong person, you become strong. When you act like a focused person, you become focused. When you act like a disciplined person, you become disciplined. Your life changes when your self-image changes. Because once you see yourself differently, you move differently. You think differently. You choose differently. You stop tolerating what weakens you. You stop accepting what holds you back. You raise your standards. You demand more from yourself, not because you hate who you are, but because you respect who you are becoming. This is where real confidence is born, not from words, not from praise, not from motivation, from proof. Proof that you can show up, proof that you can stay committed, proof that you can do hard things. That proof builds belief, and belief builds identity. You stop asking, can I do this? You start saying, I am the kind of a person who does this. That shift changes everything. Your habits align. Your mindset sharpens. Your focus strengthens. You no longer chase discipline. You live it. You no longer chase confidence. You carry it. You no longer chase success. You build it. Identity is the foundation of your future. And every choice you make today is either strengthening the old version of you or building the new one. Most people wait for perfect. They wait for the perfect plan. They wait for the perfect time. They wait for the perfect conditions. And while they wait, life moves on. They watch others grow. They watch others succeed. They watch opportunities pass. All because they are afraid to start imperfect. Perfection feels safe. It feels controlled. It feels comfortable. But perfection is a lie. There is no perfect moment. There is no perfect version of you. There is no perfect path. There is only now. And now is messy. Now is uncomfortable. Now is uncertain. But now is where progress lives. Momentum doesn't come from waiting. It comes from moving. It comes from taking the first step before you feel ready. It comes from starting before you have all the answers. It comes from trying before you feel confident. Action creates clarity. You don't get confident and then act. You act and then you become confident. You don't wait for motivation. You move and motivation follows. Every step forward creates energy. Every small win builds belief. Momentum is powerful. Once it starts, it carries you, it pushes you, it pulls you forward. But you have to give it something to work with, a small action, a small decision, a small effort. That's all it needs. People get stuck because they want certainty. They want guarantees. They want proof before they begin. But life doesn't work like that. The path reveals itself as you walk it. The door opens when you reach it. The strength comes after you start lifting. You build momentum by doing, not thinking. Thinking creates doubt. Action creates direction. Thinking creates fear. Action creates courage. Fear disappears when you move, not because the fear is gone, but because the movement is stronger. Most people are not afraid of failure. They are afraid of looking foolish. They are afraid of being judged. They're afraid of being seen trying. So they stay silent. They stay invisible. They stay stuck. Momentum doesn't care about opinions. It only cares about progress. Every time you take action, you separate yourself from the crowd. Every time you move forward, you step into a new version of yourself, a stronger version, a braver version, a more confident version. Momentum builds identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who dreams. You start seeing yourself as someone who does. You stop planning forever. You start building. You stop waiting for permission. You start taking ownership. And once you feel that power, you never want to go back. Momentum turns effort into habit. Habit turns action into lifestyle. What once felt hard becomes normal. Waking up early becomes normal. Training becomes normal. Working on your goals becomes normal. That's how lives are changed, not with big speeches, not with big promises, but with daily movement. Forward movement. Even on slow days, even on tired days, even on difficult days. One step is enough. One action is enough. One decision is enough, because once momentum starts, it doesn't need perfection. It only needs you to keep going. Most people live on autopilot. They wake up, they scroll, they rush. They react. They let the day decide who they become. They let circumstances control their mood. They let distractions steal their focus. They let excuses shape their results. And then they wonder why nothing changes. Your life is not built by what you say you want. It is built by what you accept. It is built by what you tolerate. It is built by what you repeat. Your standards decide your future, not your talent, not your intelligence, not your background. Your standards. What you allow in your life becomes your normal. What you accept becomes your reality. If you accept laziness, you build a lazy life. If you accept distractions, you build a distracted life. If you accept excuses, you build an average life. But when you raise your standards, everything changes. You stop settling, you stop compromising, you stop lowering the bar, you start demanding more from yourself, not because you hate who you are, but because you respect who you are becoming. High standards hurt. They require effort. They require sacrifice. They require discipline. They force you to say no to things that feel good now but cost you later. They force you to choose growth when comfort is calling. Most people choose easy. They choose sleep over discipline. They choose pleasure over progress. They choose comfort over courage. And then they complain about their results. High standards make you uncomfortable. They push you. They stretch you. They challenge you. They make you face your weakness, but they also unlock your potential. They turn excuses into action. They turn fear into focus. They turn doubt into determination. Your standards show up in small moments: the alarm clock, the workout, the study session, the difficult conversation. Every choice is a reflection of what you believe you deserve. When you believe you deserve more, you stop accepting less. When you believe your future matters, you stop wasting today. When you respect your potential, you stop betraying it. Raising your standards is a decision to stop lying to yourself, a decision to stop making excuses, a decision to stop settling for average. It's deciding that your time matters, that your goals matter, that your life matters. And once you make that decision, you can't unsee the gap between where you are and where you could be. That gap becomes your motivation, not external motivation. Internal fire, a fire that refuses to let you stay small, a fire that pushes you to grow, a fire that demands more. High standards turn discipline into identity. You stop forcing yourself to work. You become someone who works. You stop forcing yourself to train. You become someone who trains. You stop forcing yourself to focus. You become someone who focuses. It becomes who you are. And when it becomes who you are, your life rises to meet it. Opportunities increase. Confidence grows. Results multiply. Not because you got lucky, but because you raised the bar. Most people are not limited by ability. They are limited by what they tolerate. And the moment you stop tolerating less is the moment your life starts demanding more from you.